in the rebellion against authority of misconceptions of how others might have perceived me, and such a negative underlining or undermining painted shadows beneath the eyes of misconceptions or deceptions, I've decided to travel abroad to take the initiation and the ritual of this first step to planting either my left or right foot into the soil of the earth, of our sacred planet, of how immaculate it truly is, binding together the collectives in this state of the universe, and of awakening the rebellion or revolution of consciousness that continues to perceive me, that continues to serve under the wings of the phoenix. For who and what I have become is quite complicated. For who I have become is complicated enough. For what I have become is even more complicated, I believe. Correlating the genetics inside the DNA of human embryos, inside the embryos of not only genetics, but also the seeking a deeper light of purpose, of bonding together shadows inside the deeper light, a light that is so illuminating it brings out the balance of the surface of chaos and entropy, the embodiment that's so secret in itself, harvesting the unveiling and decoding of deeper gateways that are dormant but have awakened. Centuries old are the vastness of infinite universes collided in itself, finding the inertia, pushing against that constantly, a constant struggle of a conflict of interests from within oneself as myself. Discovering that immaculate beauty inside a light, love, the astral projections of traveling from an ancient old, as centuries old as our spirits are, the intensity and the passionateness, fire that emits, that's alive. As starseeds as we are light workers, we are constantly traveling throughout the endless void, finding that ascension of purpose, traveling from one plane of existence to the other, the receiving opposite end, that entails, encompasses, embodies all life, a coexistence that our philosophy is so beneath the shadow-painted eyes of ours, the eyes inside of our hands, becoming overwhelming, sensational, becoming the overwhelming of sanctifying the purpose underneath the sun, the blissful of nature, how gorgeous, how immaculate it is. That our state of reincarnation has brought us to this purpose of life, and forevermore bonding together the sanctified purpose underneath the sun. Either removing or painting those particular shadows I've spoken of before beneath our eyes. Meditating beneath the the rising oceans, of swimming to the shore in desperation, in an act of rebellion. This is a reincarnated incarnation of our purpose, and our birth until death, and the life after death, begins a new journey, a new light that unveils itself, a new light that ultimately not becoming shadows, however, a traveling of deeper light, an ascension that is beyond the greatness of unlocked, dormant gateways that finds itself to be dormant, however awakened. And now the hunted has become the hunter. Forgiveness deriving from the arms of infinite grace, the light of providence, as somehow has become one and the same within ourselves. On behalf of Jen, including in myself, this world was never meant for the destiny of our purpose. It almost feels as if we were never meant to be born into a world as blackened as this. And ultimately, I never thought of this world as something deserving to having either one of our souls to being a collective part of it. This world is the modern infrastructure and the foundations of our modern society and of mankind, of its civilization, is much too blackened. It's much too lost. It has become much too confused, much too misguided. And it divides and detaches, separates itself into terminals of complete opposite directions. It scatters like the oceans. I've decided for the both of us to no longer as much depend upon social media inside of the digitalized realms of its pretense of a falsehood of reality, and to ultimately combine our abilities, our determination, our gifts, our power, our spiritual adventure, forevermore wandering upon the astral planes of this planet, of this parallel universe that we were derived from, to bring about a deeper ascension of purpose, to where we had begun to unraveling the matrix of reality itself. No longer depending upon the instruments and machines and devices of vices that are so insignificant and irrelevant in a drowning ocean of everyone mingling together, their drama, all their negative energies, and the collective state of their confusions, or rather than promoting or being a part or drowning ourselves or selling out into or becoming ourselves conformist to the finite instruments of oblivion, cultivating or sharing a deeper sense of their lack of knowledge, lack of virtues or principles and morality, we ourselves have begun this adventure towards the sun, the light of the future, as prosperous and harmonious as it has become, and quite successful. The publication of my second books. And I've decided to take upon this adventure in particular so that we may travel and promoting more of our inspirational message and our vision, our aspiration, guidance to share a revolution of consciousness, a conscience awakening, and a rebellion of consciousness through this particular book of ours, of mine, entitled Shape-Shifting the Ouroboros of Astral Projection. And thus far we have a total of 15 to 20 different shops selling our books, traveling all around the state of Arizona, and day after day, brick by brick and layer upon layer, are building blocks which we ultimately have placed upon, and we are forevermore proud to have those individuals who have indeed accepted us with open arms and with hearts, welcoming us, and on behalf of our individualism, on behalf of our motivation, our light of courage, our purpose and our legacy, building this into the center ground, the balancing of our career. Furthermore, the most vital aspect and perspective of this journey, yes, this is part of our livelihood, this is our career, this is our legacy. It's what it's mostly surrounding upon, its legacy, and of our purpose to helping to heal the world around us, to illuminating the darkness and bringing forth a deeper light, to manifesting and materializing that into something greater, the greatness beyond ourselves and above ourselves. Finding this liberation of past to looking towards the future, and of how to change the world around us for the positive. A conscience awakening. An awakening deriving from every center point, every angle possible. And social media alone, to a degree, it had helped. Then again, we ourselves, we started to take this torch and continue to run with it. Run towards, or wander down the path of the future. Taking our ambitions and our light, materializing it into ourselves becoming vendors. Pardon me. Ourselves traveling, devoting a portion of our finances to traveling into the unknown. That undetermined has unearthed itself, to finding or discovering a deeper light, to discovering the missing pieces of a puzzle that I thought never had existed. Or rather, in some cases, pieces in particular that had shattered, that had sewn back together and reconnected or realigned its balance inside of its walk. Or pieces in particular to where I never thought I could find myself to becoming one and the same.